Hey, what's up guys? In this video we're going to use long division to divide polynomials using linear divisors. Alright, here it is. Hey everyone, so I'm going to do a few examples here. The first two won't have any remainder, and then the third one will have a remainder. But for all three of these examples, we're going to be working with a linear divisor. So if you remember from your old long division classes in grade school, this here is called your divisor, this here is called the dividend. So here our dividend is a really scary looking polynomial, and we're trying to see how many times this divisor goes into that polynomial, evenly or not, but in this case there won't be a remainder, so in this case it'll be evenly. But how this works, it works just like your regular long division, or very similarly. So you start by taking your variable here, or the algebraic portion of the divisor, the x in this case, and you see how many times it goes into the first term of the polynomial in here. So x goes into 2x cubed 2x squared times. All right, and now you go ahead and multiply this here by the linear divisor. So 2x squared times x is 2x cubed, as we know. And then you go ahead and multiply the 2x squared by 9 as well. So 2x squared by 9 is going to be a positive 18x squared. All right, and now we're going to go ahead and subtract this from the original dividend. So 2x cubed minus itself is 0, and 20x squared minus a positive 18x squared is going to be a 2x squared. And then we're going to go ahead and bring down this positive 21x. All right, and now we're just going to repeat the process. So we're going to take the x, the algebraic portion of the divisor here, and see how many times will it go into 2x squared. And the answer is 2x. Okay. And then we go ahead and multiply the 2x by the divisor, so 2x times x is 2x squared, and 2x times 9 is positive 18x. Then we go ahead and subtract this. 2x squared minus itself is 0. 21x minus a positive 18x is 3x. And then we bring down the 27, positive 27. All right, and same thing. How many times does x go into 3x? Well, that's going to be 3. And then we multiply the 3 by the x, just 3x. 3 by the positive 9, which is 27. And then we go ahead and subtract, and we see that our remainder is 0. So x plus 9 goes into this polynomial here, 2x squared plus 2x plus 3 times. So what you can actually do here is we can now express this polynomial in factored form if we want. I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so if we have this long polynomial here, we could express that in factored form as our divisor times the quotient, the 2x squared plus 2x plus 3. And if you want, you can go ahead and do the distributive property here and verify that these two expressions are equivalent. Okay. Now this example here is pretty similar. It's a little bit more complicated just because we have some negative signs, so you have to be careful, but it works exactly the same way. So you start with the algebraic portion of your expression, of your divisor. So that's x. How many times does x go into x to the third? Well, that's going to be x squared. Then we multiply x squared times the x, we got the x to the third, and then x squared times positive 2 is going to be plus 2x squared, and now we subtract. Okay, so x cubed minus x cubed is 0, and then we have a negative 8x squared. Okay, you have to keep this sign in mind. Negative 8x squared minus a positive 2x squared. Well, that's going to be a negative 10x squared. All right, and we'll bring down the minus 10x and repeat this process. So how many times does x go into negative 10x squared? Well, that's going to be minus 10x, negative 10x. And now we multiply. So negative 10x times x is going to be negative 10x squared. And then negative 10x times positive 2 is going to be a negative 20x. All right, subtract this. Negative 10x squared minus itself is 0. And then negative 10x minus a negative 20x is the same as saying negative 10x plus 20x. So that's going to be a positive 10x. Then we'll bring down our plus 20. And then x goes into 10x positive 5 times. No, that's wrong. Sorry, positive 10 times. Okay, now we multiply 10 times x, which is 10x. And then 10 times 2, which is 20. Subtract, and we get our remainder of 0. So again, if you wanted to, you could rewrite this in factored form. So say you had x to the third minus 8x squared minus 10x plus 20. You can rewrite that as x plus 2, quantity, times x squared minus 10x plus 10. And you could distribute and see that those are the same thing. Okay, so we'll do one more here. So first thing we ask ourselves, we take the algebraic portion of the expression here, that's 3x, and we say how many times does 3x go into 3x to the third? And that's going to be x squared times, okay, 3x times x squared is 3x to the third. Now we multiply it back, so we have the 3x to the third, and then x squared times negative 4 is negative 4x squared. All right, now we subtract. This minus this is 0. And then we have a positive 8x squared minus a negative 4x squared. So that's the same as saying positive 8x squared plus 4x squared, which is 12x squared. Bring down our 8x, positive 8x. 3x goes into 12x squared 4x times, positive 4x times. 4x times 3x gives us the 12x squared. 4x times negative 4 is negative 16x. Okay, 4x times negative 4, negative 16x. Now we subtract, so this minus this is 0. Positive 8x minus negative 16x is the same as saying positive 8x plus 16x. So that is going to be 24x. Bring down our minus 25. 3x goes into 24x 8 times, positive 8 times. And then 8 times 3x gives us the 24x. 8 times negative 4 is negative 32. All right, now when we subtract, you'll see not everything goes away. 24x minus 24x is 0, but negative 25 minus negative 32, which is the same as negative 25 plus 32, is positive 7. So we have a remainder here. Now, with this remainder, I'm not just going to write plus 7. I have to write plus the remainder divided by the divisor. Okay? And to illustrate why we do this, I'm gonna just show you a simple division problem. Let's say I asked you what 7 divided by 3 was. Okay? We know that 3 goes into 7 twice with a remainder of 1, but I'm not gonna write 2.1 here. Okay, because we know that 3 goes into 7 2 1/3 time, right? That remainder of 1 is 1/3 of a time that 3 would go into that remainder. So what we do is we take that remainder of 1 and we divide it by the divisor, and that's where the 1/3 comes from, or if you're thinking of it in decimal terms, would be 2.3 repeating. Okay, so us dividing that remainder of 1 by the divisor, that's the same thing we're doing here. We're taking that remainder and we're dividing it by the divisor. It just happens that that divisor is algebraic. All right. So again, you can write this in factored form. You could write out this polynomial here as 3x minus 4, the quantity, times this long expression up here. And that's all there is to it. So in the next video, I'll probably do the similar long division video, but with a quadratic divisor instead of a linear divisor. All right, and with that said, it's been demonstrated.